Today, we're discussing a fascinating concept, seeing others' faults clearly, and how this relates to growth, self-awareness, and leadership. You know, sometimes when we interact with others, we notice their flaws almost immediately. It's easy to point them out, but then we hesitate. Should we even say anything? What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. It's almost like a reflex. You see someone do something that doesn't quite match up, and instantly your mind starts ticking with corrections or judgments. But the real question is, should we always speak up, or should we just observe and stay quiet?
That hesitation is key. In fact, it seems like pointing out faults might not always be the right approach. The conversation brings us to a deeper point. Why do we see these contradictions in others so clearly? It's almost like they're part of our study, right?
Exactly. It's like we're in a position where we can spot contradictions in others, but if we aren't careful, we might end up acting like the teacher, the one who points out every little fault. But in doing that, we miss seeing our own contradictions. That's where things get tricky.
Right? Because if you only see others' faults, it means you're stuck in a lower quality of life. And over time, that can turn into frustration, living in a constant cycle of seeing flaws without real progress. It's almost like you're not evolving, just repeating the same cycle.
That's the scary part. It's easy to fall into that trap. And as the years pass, you find yourself surrounded by contradictions, yet unable to fix them. You're not growing, you're just stuck in a rut. But if you step back and look at those contradictions with humility, that's when you start to learn. It's a shift in perspective that leads to real growth.
So it's about finding a way to use the contradictions as learning material, not just as reasons to criticize. In fact, those who are stuck in their ways, the ones who criticize others without growing, end up wasting their potential. They see contradictions, but they don't transform them into wisdom.
Exactly. The real challenge is transforming that frustration into something constructive. If you focus on yourself, study deeply, and approach others' faults with humility, you start to change your own perspective. You stop being just an observer and become someone who can guide and teach others.
And that's when you become truly influential, right? If you stay humble and absorb what others can teach you, even from their flaws, you can eventually lead people. But if you criticize without understanding, people will just distance themselves from you. It's a paradox. By staying humble, you're actually able to lift others up.
And that's the crux of it. People with a higher energy, the ones who can spot faults in others, must learn to handle it responsibly. They must not only understand but guide others without judgment. It's about growing through those experiences, not just pointing fingers.
So it's clear that to truly lead, we need to have a deep understanding of our own flaws first, right? Only then can we guide others in a meaningful way. It's a long process, humbling ourselves, learning from the mistakes we see, and being patient with others as we all evolve.
Absolutely. It's a long, slow journey. But if you approach it with dedication and humility, the impact you can have is profound. And over time, people will come to you for guidance, not because you've been harsh or critical, but because you've learned to guide with compassion and insight.
And that's the essence of growth, isn't it? We're all learning together, whether we're teaching or being taught. But without patience and humility, we can easily miss the lessons that are right in front of us.